All right. Hello, everyone. We have our next guest with us today, Dhaval Gandhi. After completing his CA and MBA in finance, Dhaval began his career as an investment banker. He later co-founded PD Learning Curve, which is one of India's premium training centers for accounting and finance. Based in Mumbai, the financial capital of India, PD Learning Curve has successfully trained over 5,000 CAs and CFA professionals. Most recently, Dhaval co-founded India's first undergraduate school dedicated to luxury retail and fintech. He also serves as a board member for several of highly regarded organizations across the country. Dhaval, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you for joining this session.
Thank you, Devesh. It's been a equal pleasure on my side to come on a call. Thank you very much.
Superb. So let's straight away jump into the questions. My first question to you is, what inspired you to launch a dedicated undergraduate program in luxury management, and what makes it unique?
I'll tell you, in India, we didn't have any luxury schools as when we are speaking as of now. Uh, so US been around more than 20, 23, 24 trillion dollar economy. China around 16, 17 trillion dollar. India is at around $4 trillion. And we feel that in the next 2 decades, it's going to be in India's decade. So we are at a stage where we find a massive quantum of prosperity penetrating in the next 25 years. We expect this $4 trillion to really, worst case, go at least till $20 trillion. And then that would lead to a massive consumption. With the type of population we have and type of consumption pattern, the type of transformations that we see in terms of consumer preference, in terms of, especially I would like to highlight premiumization of consumerism, a big theme. And that's where we really feel that, there'll be a massive movement towards uh, buying premium stuffs. And that's where I felt that a person like me will never launch a luxury brand or would never build up a luxury mall. But could I do something to this explosion that I could really see right in front of me in terms of a business theme or in terms of an opportunity? Only area that I thought I could have had a meaningful contribution was human capital, because that's an area which is not really looked in that seriously. Because even if a premium brand is trying to set up an operation, they are more looking at luxury infrastructure. So other than currently when we speak Devesh, other than DLF Emporium in Delhi, other than UB Mall in Bangalore, maybe a Geo World Plaza in Mumbai or a Palladium, we don't have many luxury world-class malls in India. So there isn't a luxury infrastructure. So where that piece of problem is getting sorted, another very important problem that will always emerge is the human capital. There are, unfortunately, I don't want to name, but let me even just tell it because it's just a call for education. I would just put up. I visited, let's say, an Oberoi hotel, and if I go to a Gucci store there in their their ground floors, they have those stores. I don't get an international brands experience in terms of when I'm buying those products. The quality of interactions that we have is completely not in sync with the type of brand those organizations are selling. So I felt human capital is an area to be addressed. And there are a couple of organizations which will be doing masters, I guess, in India, but it's too less a time, because when you are having a human capital that you're trying to create in this space, you need mannerism, class, chivalry, etiquette, politeness. Soft skills plays a big role, and that doesn't happen in a year. I'm sure you all will agree. You need a larger exposure, and more to that, luxury as an industry is very broad. It is not just Gucci, Prada, Fendi, Chanel, Burberry, Ralph Lauren, Givenchy. It's not just some of those international brands. Indians are quite different, so we felt the luxury spreads across gems, jewelry, fashion, decor, food, travel, beauty, wellness, art, collectible, accessories, a whole lot of, in terms of collectibles, it's automobiles, it's wines, it's fragrances. So luxury cuts into many spheres, and it's an exemplarily big industry. So human capital is where we very, very strongly felt someone needs to take a jump in try to fix that, and we did a small humble attempt to start this program.
Fantastic. So India's economy is growing. There is a need for luxury products, and for that we need human capital to sort of be able to sell those, let's say, products. Uh, Now, as this luxury industry evolves, what different kinds of opportunities do you see open up for the younger generation, for the young students of India?
You see, whenever we talk about luxury, it's obviously luxury retail is what we talk about, or luxury brand management, or luxury marketing strategies. But it's primarily a lot more client-facing work because and for that matter of fact, most marketing professionals would thoroughly rejoice a client-facing work because there's no fun in doing marketing if you really don't understand consumers at the end. And let me give you a simple example in terms of pedagogy of spending. Let's say in Mumbai, we have Bandra Linking Road, Kulaba Causeway, Fashion Street. If someone wants to spend very less, they would rather go there and spend. A higher pedigree of spending would be at Shoppers Stop, Pantaloon, Big Bazaar. Furthermore, spending would be, let's say, category called Zara, H&M, Uniqlo, Promote, Mango. And then let's say one certain wants to elevate their spending experience and they're buying more luxury products. Could be Louis Vuitton, Fendi, Chanel, and all that, Burberry and Bottega Veneta, a whole lot of those brands. So we very, very strongly felt at every stage someone is marketing or doing, selling these products. And we always felt it's slightly easy to do top down than bottom up. So it's sometimes easy for a Jaguar Range Rover guy to sell a Maruti car, but maybe not that easy for a Maruti salesperson or a marketing professional to up the game and sell, high-end cars like maybe BMW, Mercedes, or you're not going to Ferrari, McLaren, Rolls Royce, Aston Martin, Ducati, Lamborghini, Porsche. That goes maybe a further uber luxury brands. But yeah, we felt that anyways, this is all selling. But can we teach students how to cater to ultra HNIs? And if they have to do something more massy, I think it's a little easy. But to have a mass marketing, sales, or sales or marketing professional trying to do the top category of consumers, we thought it will be very, very difficult. So why don't we teach students marketing, but more on the luxury side of it? That was the thought process.
Okay, so yeah, I get your point. I think it's also about teaching those skills to the students so that they are able to do justice to the kind of brands that they are catering to. Now, that also requires students to develop a certain kind of mindset to thrive in this industry. What are some of the skills or mindset that you recommend the students develop when they build their career in this?
We always felt that these programs don't need a very hardcore number crunching skills. So even in terms of aptitude, you're not very cool with mathematics as a subject. It's okay, but we really need people who are a little street smart, more extrovert, good at conversations. But to that, we really need a lot of grooming. So we always felt that, as I said before, also the chivalry and politeness and class is very, very important. Uh, so that's very, very critical. So soft skills and ready to adopt. It needs when you deal with people with snob appeal, people with huge amount of wealth, people who have great preferences, people who have the great taste, people who are accustomed to buying expensive products, buying not expensive, maybe genuinely luxury products. To deal that, you need like an ice poured over your head and your tongue almost liquored into the jar of jaggery. You need very polished behavior. You need a persona to entertain and client. And for a lot of youngsters, luxury is very glamorous. It's just not. It's like hospitality. It's a lot of hospitality and luxury professionals. They have to be on the floor for a very, very long period of time. They need to be very, very polished. They need to at times handle clients which may have egos. Solo there sometimes that I would not say that extreme, but sometimes do not have your self-respect, trying to come up as a thorn every time between you and your client's interaction. So there are a lot of those finer aspects of marketing which separates a sales or a marketing personnel at the mass level to someone trying to sell something which is more luxurious. So for a kid or for a student planning to do any courses in this direction, perseverance, a lot of hard work, street smart, visiting brands, doing their own homework. If it gets them excited to deal, because you should have that sense of aesthetics, that sense of belonging to that space. And yeah, and it's a lot of fun then at the end of the day. It's a lot of satisfaction because I personally love, I'm for example, like a travel. I'm not a backpacker type of a travel. I'm a luxurious travel. I would love to check my properties, get the itinerary in place, and I would have everything of highest quality around me when I'm traveling. So someone who really also wants to be stationed on such, workplace should be of that category, and the luxury brands, the luxury setups would bring that on the table. So it's exciting for students seeking out a program, but yeah, they'll have to realize it's not something where it's just as glamorous as it looks, because there is ultimately, as in any other work, a lot of hard work, lot of patience. You can just, there's an art of, sometimes, you're very judgmental on someone's clothing, someone's behavior, and you try to feel he's not a potential customer, but you never know, that person will give you a pleasant surprise in terms of his ability to buy things. So it's also about a psychology as a subject to read. You should be able to understand the the consumer psychology as one area to gauge in. So that also someone should be ready to learn all this, the history, the anthropology of luxury consumption. So it's a mixture of a lot of those areas in terms of child's inquisitiveness, hunger. But on a larger note, because if the younger students of high school trying to look about in these programs, there's not much math. It's too much of marketing, social sciences, branding, advertising, picking up foreign languages, picking up soft skills. Those are the areas I think which needs to be more polished. Yeah, Devesh.
Superb. So I think that's so much practical advice for the students. Well, fantastic. And how does your school, the School of Luxury Retail, help the students gain these skills? Do you want to talk about some real world examples or
So
maybe
what?
some exposure? Yeah.
Correct. So what did we do, Devesh? We just started last year. In a year's time, we had an under promise exemplarily over delivery. So in just a 9 month 9 months from last July we started. And when we're talking right now, it's like an end of April. In around 8 9 months, the kids have gone for the second semester exams. They had 27 master classes from industry. They had 7 immersive experience when they had industry visit. They had Pagio Lux Weekend, one of the top premium luxury events that happens out of BKC in Mumbai. They visited Classic Marble in Silvassa, the world's finest, like among the finest Indian marble company that India could genuinely proudly boast of. In fact, let me just give you some sort of an highlight of what is a USP of the program that we've really tried to create. We broke up every semester in an industry exposure. So Sam 1 was gems and jewelry. Sam 2 was furniture, decor, and real estate. So we invited Vinti Loda, I think a name synonym with luxury real estate. We invited Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, again a very, very big name in the real estate space. Imagine 45 kids in a class getting an exposure from such stalwarts and many more. When in Gems and Jewelry we had Carrot Lane, managing director Avnish Anand who had come. We had someone from Zoya Manan who had come and spoken with the client acquisition. Had one of the top brands in luxury gems and jewelry that India could boast of. It's India's version of Cartier. I would go to that extent in the form of Zoya. We had Richa Singh, who heads the managing director, Natural Diamond Council, and you cannot separate diamonds when we really talk about gems and jewelry. It could not be only just maybe gold or a bullion or a silver area. So imagine the quality of exposure this people had, and 27 such stalwarts, and I can go on and on in terms of name, and every one of them have been placed for summer paid internships. So when we are talking in around 21st, 22nd of April now, this May, June, when they go, they've all got the internships. Imagine a course started first time in India, which people were never aware exactly 12 months back about this, what are they jumping into. And they've all got paid internships from very, very good brands. And today we have almost 61 offers for 45 kids. There are almost companies, almost 16 offers, 16 companies which have come in, and we have to politely say that we don't have students for you. So imagine that kind of thing that we are feeling, if we are rocking the night, knocking the right doors of the right companies in different sectors, and unlock the opportunities of luxury. Because going forward, the SAM 3, they will have fashion and accessories, beauty and wellness, food and travel, art and collectibles, several exposures in Samwise. And what we've done is we've made them as per new education policy. Our course is exemplarily complied. It's Right, school is right within. If I would just show you, I'm right in the school. The school is this. The infrastructure looks pretty fancy. Okay. And I have a couple of students still in the classroom right now. So he created a beautiful atmosphere right in the heart of south of Mumbai. 30 seconds you walk to a college. On the left is Churchgate Station. On the right is Arabian Sea. It's out of Sydenham College, which is government of Maharashtra's entity. It's an undergrad degree program. So there's almost all boxes we're trying to tick in terms of a checklist that a student or a parent, potentially any other stakeholder, would really wish to get in terms of their pursuit. Fourth year, these are 3 years mandatory in Mumbai. Fourth year is a co-op for them. Either they can do a fourth year internship provided by our school, or they have an option to do a dual bachelor's, twinning bachelor's honors in Mumbai and master's abroad. So they can study in France, Italy, Switzerland, or UK to do their fourth year, where they do a master's there, but they also get a bachelor's honors parallel year. That's another option. But that's fourth year is quite optional. Either they can do study in fourth year, or they can look at a co-op in terms of opportunity to work.
Superb. Sounds very exciting, Dhaval. We're almost.
I thought if you would be 16, 17, I'm sure I would have converted you to come for this program. It looks.
No, I've been there. I've been to your campus,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I really,
I apologize.
yeah, I really enjoyed being there. It was such a fantastic experience. So really, congratulations to you on that.
Thanks, Devesh. I'm sure counselors like you and the podcast that you do just brings the right hidden, great causes, and I'm sure there are quite a few happening in this country. It is brought to the right audience, and I'm sure this podcast could be a great medium to reach to this audience.
Thank you so much, Dhaval. We are almost coming towards the end of the session. And my final question to you is, what advice would you give to the high school students who are interested in this industry? What are some of the things that they could do right now as high school students?
So as high school students, again, as I said, it's very important. I always like the concept of going to Baskin Robbins or any other ice cream parlor, and before I taste or pick up a flavor, I would love to taste few of them. So for me, summer schools and winter schools are almost mandatory. Even if a course like this sounds exciting, attend the summer school. See 6, 7 days in our school. Whether is it the right fit for you? Do you really does this course appeal to you? Would you be able to do this for 3, 4 years, or is it something that you didn't like in the first 2 days or 3 days of a summer school? Then maybe they're not the right program. So, me summer or winter schools are very important to attend. Do a campus visit, talk to seniors. So, unfortunately, last year we didn't have any students for existing batch to have spoken to because it's a maiden first year batch. But obviously, going forward, the kids could have the existing set of kids whom they can speak to. So, for any other programs the kids go, I would always believe that talking to the existing student, knowing the list of the faculty, opportunities, checking and doing a campus visit, possibly do a summer winter school, do some more research on a lot of information available on social media in terms of going on Reddit and try to see whether what people comment on that program, going on other social medias, taking advice from seasoned professionals. If program like this will have a lot of value, because there's always a conversation which nowadays youngsters, especially a lot of just Gen Zs, really strike up in terms of AI happening, in terms of robotics happening. Will certain careers hold the relevance in future? So I think those conversations, I think, are pretty meaningful for the youngsters to get in. That's it. But I don't think this is a academically very rigorous program. But it otherwise takes a toll anyway on the student because there are too many projects. But these are the real life costs. So what have we designed as a program? It's majors in luxury marketing, but minors in entrepreneurship. So in terms of work opportunity, you can start at the stores level, and you would want to really move upwards, and you can get into visual merchandising. You can get into become someday a brand director, getting to a strategy level in terms of making luxury operations, luxury strategy, luxury marketing as functional areas to really jump into. And I'm sure there are regional heads, there are national heads, there are APEC heads, and there are South Asia heads or whatever, global heads. So then the journey goes upwards and onwards. But there are a lot of those functional areas kids could really try excelling in and do study big names like, let's say, Lena Nair. Now would she become the head of global head of a brand called Chanel? So what do they look in when they engage with the brand, when they launch a brand, when they start a store? What type of people they hire? What type of engagements they do? So I think just cutting short for a very long conversation that I'm really having in this, I would personally do a lot of recce in terms of the college experience that I would gather if I'm an undergrad student, and from the supply side, from the corporate side of it, what is the demand there? What is the job opportunities that I'll get? Is this going to hold true for my side? And from any research the kids would do, they'll get a very affirmative answer, because this area is absolutely at a beautiful, inflection point where it's going to affirmatively explode, and they'll have a huge opportunity in this domain.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dhaval. Thanks. It was a pleasure having you with us on the podcast.
Always a pleasure, Devesh. I'm sorry we couldn't get on a call before, but thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dhaval. Yes.